I am noticing that my face is scrunched, there's tension in my eyes, there's a little bit of a shadow over trying to get a project to work and trying to get people involved. And this is what I notice. You ask people to be involved in something and they say no. It's frustrating because it's such an easy project and it's such an easy thing. But before I get into that, this is day 25 of the Lifetime Meditation Burn. I do these updates every day, documenting my journey on the burn meditation. Please do subscribe to my channel. I need your help with expanding the channel, and please do engage with clicking the like button and leaving me a comment. I did receive a comment the other day about asking about my experiences of homelessness. And the thing is that, this has come out a little bit in these stories because this is my journey, this is my, my story, my situation. And homelessness has been a very big part of my journey over the last few years. Now, for the record, at the moment, I do have a place. I do, thankfully, have a roof over my head. And I only recently just was able to get that, able to organize that. So it hasn't been very long since I've been back indoors full time. And before that, for many years, I was homeless. For many years, I was without stable housing. And during that time, I think it would have been probably 3.5 years altogether. But during that time, I was partly living in my car, partly house sitting, partly staying with a family member, partly travelling overseas or staying in temporary housing. And it's been a patchy sort of thing. And, there's been some good things in that. There have been some very much positive things, but there have also been some very hurtful times, very broken times. And I feel that the full story, the whole story is difficult to explain. It's difficult to sort of say. And this is a thing that I struggle with all the time. It's like, how do you tell your story when there's so much to tell? How do you tell your story when the words can't really fully express what it's like? When I'm afraid that saying just a few words will give you the wrong idea. It will give you the wrong impression. And I want to explain myself clearly. I want to be able to have you understand the story and what my situation was like. And I also noticed that, to sort of circle back with what I was first talking about, I also noticed that when I think and I talk, there's so many different components to it that are moving so fast that it's hard for me to sort of sit down and explain each thing. So the project at school of asking people to be involved in the project and having them say, oh, they can't do it, and that frustration, that's sort of one bit. And then there's the feeling in my face, which I also spoke about at the start of this video, right? There's a tension in my face and there's a there's something not quite right about how it feels to look out my face at the moment. And that's very much part of the burn meditation, because when you burn, your sense of face, your sense of facingness, your sense of looking out your eyes, looking out your face changes. And also the muscles in your face, there's a physical thing that happens as well. So there's that. And then there's the experience of telling my story and my experiences of homelessness and all the rest of it. And then also, maybe if we can put as a fourth thing, there's the burn meditation itself and what that means. So let's deal with these. First of all, I'm going to school and I've got this project where I need some singers to sing in my band. And at school, I'm asking every single singer to do it, to be involved in it. And in my mind, it's like, well, everyone is a singer and they're there to sing, so they should all say yes, right? Not to mention that the songs are kids' songs and they're very easy, yeah? They're very easy songs. So For me, from what I first think, there should be no excuse. Now, of course, logically, people are busy and, some people might not be interested in it and whatever, right? Not everyone can do it. You're not going to get 100% yeses for everything you ask for. But the frustration is that, I'm in this situation where it's like trying to make something happen, and the only way you can make it happen is to ask people to do it. And they can say yes or they can say no. And the fear is that, well, what if everyone says no and I'm just there by myself? And, that probably won't happen. But, ultimately, I sometimes think that as well. And say, I'll just play by myself. I'll just perform by myself, solo piano. And, maybe that is more of a thing of resilience that I need to have. I need to remember that resilience. And then to sort of talk about this thing of my face and this tension. Like sometimes when I edit these videos, I have a look at my face. Now, I don't watch myself fully back when I edit these videos. But, in the process, I do get a glimpse of what my face looks like. And sometimes, there's the silly thumbnails as well that YouTube keeps making out of me. I have all these funny faces. So that's a bit cringe, but, what are you going to do? That's just how it is for now. But this feeling of looking out my face and also noticing this is what my face looks like and seeing, there's some sadness there, or there's some tiredness there. There's some brokenness there. And I realized that, I need to get back on track with my process. I need to be more in alignment with the burn meditation. I need to be burning properly, which means sometimes scrunching my face, sometimes doing some gibberish, sometimes using my voice, moving my body, moving my hips, moving my shoulders, and having this physical body as a foundation. Because I know when I do that and I do the burn meditation, there's a brightness, and there's a sparkle in my eyes, there's a smile to my face, and the frown is not so tense, and there's a relaxation, and there's something in the face. There's very much a deep truth to this insight that the face is a window into the soul. And that's an ongoing thing. And then to sort of talk about the burn meditation more generally, I am wondering, or I'm noticing, like, what it's like to try and convey these ideas, to try and, like, really say what it is when it's something so intangible, when it's something so not obvious, so it's like, it's not hamburgers and pizza, it's not cars and bikini girls, it's awareness. And a lot of the time when I say awareness, people say, well, awareness of what? As if awareness has to have an object. There has to be a thing that you are being aware of. Right? So even that step of understanding that awareness itself is a phenomenon within you that you can look at and work at, despite the object. We do work with the object. We work with certain things in order to understand that. But even that leap from going from object to awareness itself is a leap. That's a lesson that people need to learn. That's a breakthrough moment of self-realization, that your awareness is this thing within itself. Now, in some cultures, awareness is like the witnessing that sits behind your head. So sort of like you're in a computer game and you're watching the person go through the digital world, or, shoot a game. In other cultures, it's more like it's in the belly. It's actually in the hips, more lower belly sort of area. And in other stages, again, well, there's actually stages to this where it disappears, right? There's that Buddhist talk where at first there's you and the person that you're following, and then the person is following you, and then you both disappear, and we can get into that. That's a different explanation, but that's a little bit about day 25 of the burn meditation. I realize I'm running out of time now. Now, there's going to be more videos coming up. We're going to talk about non-location experiencing. We're going to talk about being timeless. And I've got some notes on Leo Gura, which I'm going to share. So thank you very much for tuning in. Next update will be coming soon. Please do subscribe and leave me a comment.